Hello, this is 𝗲𝗿 and you're watching The Shift Asia. MCC Label was founded in 1916, initially as the Franklin Development Company, later becoming Multicolor Corporation. And while its name and industry has evolved over the years, MCC has consistently been a pioneer of label printing. Most notably, they developed InMold in the 70s, a solution still widely used today. For over a century, they've created premium labels for the world's most iconic brands. Today, I was speaking to John Eyres and Hariyharan, Pharamalingam, to find out how the company is evolving and its sustainability initiatives. So good to meet both of you. And as I was doing research, I didn't realize there was so much behind labels, right? And the company has been around for such a long time, right? And perhaps we can start with some of the key milestones about the company for people who might not know about the company, seeing that it's a very B2B kind of business.
Sure. Good morning. Thank you for having us this morning. It's good to be here, and I think it's a good point. I mean, people don't realize the labeling sector and the scope of what we do. I mean, you would see MCC every day without realizing it. So we're supplying labels to local, regional, and global brands. So of course, anyone who buys a product, there's a high likelihood that it will carry an MCC label.
Right. And people don't know it's in your face every day.
Correct.
In your face.
Imagine a shelf without labels. I mean, if you like, it would be a very confusing experience.
Yeah. What am I buying, right?
Exactly. They carry the visual, the familiarity, the brand, the connection. And it's how brands connect directly one-to-one with their consumers. So it's a very important piece. And when we're adding in sustainability and sustainable packaging, that's a key opportunity for brands to differentiate in that way.
Right. So when people think of labels, the general public might not understand how it connects with sustainability. So maybe Harani can share with us how it all begins with sustainable sourcing and how you engage with suppliers.
Thank you, Frida. It's lovely to be here today. In MCC Label, it is our burning desire to protect the environment. And we started the journey by looking into our labels. Our existing labels are manufactured with virgin materials, and an idea emerged. Let us make labels from recycled materials. And our goal was we reached out to our suppliers to share our intent. And the information was well received. Our suppliers then went back and proposed labels from recycled material that suits our business needs. This information we brought back excitedly to our sales team to introduce to our customers the different variety that is available.
Okay, interesting. So, and also understanding a couple of things that you all do, from comprehensive supplier mapping to clear sustainable standards and helping suppliers. Where do you usually find the biggest bottlenecks?
Right. So we do expect to have some bottlenecks when there is a change of or introduction of new product into the product segment. Here, for an example, we looked at our customers. They expect the appearance of labels to be equivalent to the virgin materials.
Okay.
At this avenue, we need to educate suppliers, our customers, to have a mind shift, to understand that the quality is the same, but it is just a matter of slight differentiation in aesthetics.
Right. Okay.
Another example I would like to quote is the customers expect the cost of a recycled material to be cost neutral or lower. Here, what we can see is the development of technology is gradually making the manufacturing of labels cheaper over a period of time, and we are definitely heading at the right direction.
Right. Not there yet, but we're heading the right direction.
Right.
Okay. Now, so how is, I guess, technology used in this case?
So we have several digital platforms that we integrate in our business management. For example, we use SAP to manage our supplier database, Radius to provide visibility on our key materials. In addition, we use business intelligence, BI, to provide information to create opportunity for improvement. Notwithstanding that, we have Salesforce to manage our customer and our sales information.
And your customers, I guess, would be beyond Malaysia.
Correct. It's a global scope. I mean, we are working across, and this is a long list: food and beverage, home and personal care, wine and spirits, healthcare, chemical, automotive, durables, and specialty or smart labeling segments. So it gives us a really good insight into many different markets and many different industries and what is and what isn't being successful.
If you think about it, there's nothing without labels, really, right? Okay, so back to the whole sustainability story. What are your end of life and circular economy integration strategies?
In end of life, we are looking to create more labels that are designed for secondary use. This is to reduce the emissions at land. Further to that, we need to employ systematic recovery systems to improve the availability of reusable labels. While in circular economy, we look at incorporating recyclable and reusable packaging material. In this program, we need to have systems to recover and return packaging material are important.
Okay. And John, how have you seen the demand for sustainability?
It's really been exponential. I mean, go back 5-7 years, it wasn't too much of a conversation. So MCC saw an opportunity to bring this as part of our leadership and part of our company ethos. So it's all geographies, all markets, and the main reasons why research indicates that almost 2/3 or over 2/3, of consumers are willing to pay a little bit more when they see products that have a sustainable packaging content. So that's a great opportunity for brands to differentiate in that way. So the other pillar for that is government legislation, which is increasing and becoming more of a factor in a lot of markets. And of course, consumer awareness.
Right.
So we all understand that we need to protect and limit our impact on the planet and protect the future for the generations to come. So
2/3 of customers are willing to pay more. And I'm just thinking about myself and I'm being, yes, if it is, I am willing to pay more, right? If you talk about, and that perception probably changed in the last 10 years.
Correct. And consumers will support brands that have a sustainable responsibility or act towards protecting and ensuring the future.
Right. I know you alluded to this earlier, John, but how does it help with brand image and market differentiation, right? And some case studies that you've had.
I mean, simply put, it's a great factor. So consumers have so much choice and power, if you like. But you're talking about a decision that's made in a split second at the point of purchase. So sustainable packaging can be a powerful differentiator. That if you're choosing between one or the other, and one has the sustainable outlook and one doesn't, it's generally an easy choice. So it also involves wider education on what's important and why it's important. And this can be directly linked to the packaging as a part of educating in that factor. So.
Hariyharan, you mentioned earlier on about the virgin and recycled material. Actually, how different does it look?
The material looks almost the same. Primarily, it's white color. But in a recycled content material, there's a slight tinge of yellow. So it is very, very light. But however, it can be noticeable.
Right.
And our customers have always raised this question. Can we make it equivalent?
Okay.
Currently, we are working with our suppliers to improve this further. At the same time, lower the cost.
Right. It also depends on a little bit. We kind of like it vintagey. It actually looks correct.
It's part of the evolution too. I mean, consumers and education are going to have to understand that when we're dealing with recycled content, putting that back into the ecosystem, it's different to making it as a virgin material. So there will need to be a perception shift to really engage in bringing this material as a norm across the region. So a lot of that has started, and you're seeing some of the differences in, for example, a PET bottle versus a recycled PET bottle.
Right.
But that is, again, part of that education process.
And for people who don't know about the company MCC, and how long have you been in Malaysia, actually? Not you, John. Company.
Well, Malaysia's my home now, my second home, but It's an interesting story. MCC's grown into the largest label manufacturer globally via growth and acquisitions across many markets. So MCC itself acquired a company here in Malaysia in 2015, but that company had been operating previously for over 30 years. So I do want to give a quick shout out to the fantastic teams, obviously here in Malaysia. So we have 2 sites, our team up in Penang, and of course where we are today in KL.
What are some tangible benefits like increased sales and cost savings? What kind of numbers are we talking about?
Costs are always critical. So it's a key part of the piece, and MCC can bring a lot of solutions and options to the table to enable cost benefits such as recycled content, reduce material use, and then efficiencies throughout the manufacturing chain in terms of logistics and processing. So we also look at collection of process waste and diverting that waste from landfill into recycling or co-processing. And very pleasingly, thank you for bringing it up.
I saw this 100% food waste into bioorganic soil. What exactly is this?
So MCC KL has recently become part of our growing global sites that are now 100% landfill free. So none of our waste goes to landfill. We're also generating solar energy using our real estate on our factories and that area. So this is part of our food waste reclaiming scheme. So
it was just with the staff.
This is just on site here for KL, but many of our businesses around the world are also doing this. So this becomes a fertilizer and composter for our gardens in the facility. So a complete circular process. So
and it starts at home.
Correct.
Right.
So we also encourage our teams to bring in, obviously, things from home that they can't recycle necessarily there, like e-waste and the like. So a very circular economy.
Right. So I know you spoke about this early on as well, right? And consumer behavior changing. And are they now demanding for change, or is cost still, the determining factor?
Cost is a key factor, but it's both. I mean, the brands need to respond to the consumer demands to change. So I think I mentioned earlier. So the consumers have such choice. So also have access to complete information at their fingertips, and everyone has a smartphone. So extremely well-informed consumers. So we feel from an MCC perspective that brands that are connecting directly to consumers one-to-one, that are adapting quickly and have a point of difference in their packaging, being successful versus those that don't. And accordingly, sustainable packaging can be a very key part of that.
Right. Okay. And I guess what are the drivers for eco-friendly packaging, and how can brands, I guess, be best prepared?
Yeah, it's still a complex piece, and we're still navigating it. But I think the 3 pillars, as we've kind of touched on, is consumer preference, awareness of the consumer, and also government legislation. So MCC has a deep understanding of the legislation across many different markets, because it's different from Malaysia to Thailand to Europe and North America. So we can support our brand owners in developing the solutions and tailoring the products to suit. So brands really have a limited time, but unique opportunity to lead this transformation.
Harun, anything to add?
The recycle context, what we look at, the customers and also the consumer, we need them to have a change of mindset to start looking at supporting all the initiative by the government and also by our own effort to create a sustainable environment for us to live on. And therefore, we expect they to be more accepting on using recycled material. So this is a journey. It is educating them. It is for them to have a feel of it. We are introducing the material, they have a feel, and eventually we believe that they will embark the journey on a full throttle.
Is there anything else you'd like to add that I haven't asked?
Yeah, I think so. We talked about the scope. This isn't just happening in MCC Malaysia, for example. We have over 100 manufacturing facilities around the world. the accreditations and the support that we offer from a sustainability piece is, I believe, second to none. And it's right across our global network. So our tagline for this and what we live by is labeled with care. So we are labeling with care. And with that, we want to, and with our presence globally, we want to ensure that the sustainable future across the consumer packaging landscape.
Right. Thank you so much for your time, Hariyharan, John.
Thank you very much.
I'm here at MCC Label, and of course, this has been at the Shift Asia.